The
Okay.
answer is 48.
Exactly. Okay. So the first one, so, I typically ask this of someone who is from Rochester, but we'll frame this for your hometown, wherever that may be. So first of all, if you could
Okay.
answer where that is, but wherever you're from, what about it shaped you into the person you are, and what made it such a great place, or maybe not so great place, for a musician?
It was great. I'm from a little town near Wheeling, West Virginia, and we had a very rich country music history there with a radio show called the Wheeling Jamboree and a big radio station called WWVA that broadcast that show. And I was made a member of that radio show when I was 13 or 14 years old. So I I got to open for artists like Charlie Daniels and Steve Wariner and Ricky Skaggs and Vince Gill and people like that, all of growing up. That was my education. And in a small town like that, my hometown was 1,200 people, and I think Wheeling's maybe, I don't know if it's 20,000 or might have been 60,000 at one point. Now it's not nowhere near 60,000. I think it was 20,000 because the biggest city in West Virginia is about 60,000. So there's more people in the stadium at a West Virginia football game than any city in the state on a Saturday, which says something about where I'm from. But in a little place like that, they really do give you every benefit of the doubt if you're trying to be a singer. And I was booked solid from Lions Club luncheons to, mother-daughter banquets, whatever it was, I was the entertainment. And so people ask me all the time, what's the trick? And it's like, play where you're from. Learn how to be a musician there. They're a lot more forgiving. So yeah, it's a great place to have grown up. I'm able to be a singer because they let me hit the bad notes before I moved away.
You are probably the most accomplished person I've had to ask this question to. You've done it all, playing sold out venues, touching the hearts of thousands of people across the globe. You've met everyone, done a lot of things. But if there was one thing that you could do and you would consider it your crowning achievement or the final feather in your cap, what would that thing be?
Crowning achievement. I don't know. That's a really good question. I just feel like that's a good question because there's so many things I've gotten the privilege to be able to do, and I never dreamed I'd get to do any of them. So it's almost like I continually have to make a new bucket list a little bit. Collaborations are really cool. I've often said I'd love to collaborate with somebody like Eric Clapton. I got to do a duet with B.B. King on my blues record and stuff. Things like that. I think it's always about sort of making a list of somebody new that you want to be friends with, and kind of make music with. So Clapton's at the top of the list for me. I'd like to get that done one of these days.
Perfect. One final thing, we touched upon it just a tiny bit in the first question. Do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
Yeah, I think it's what I was saying in the first thing. If you're from a place, like a little place, I say a little, but it's fairly little compared to, the bigger cities in America. It's definitely a more forgiving place going to New York City or going to, Chicago or LA or Nashville or something and trying to be a professional musician. Be really good in your small pond. And then if you're really, really good, then you'll move on to the bigger pond. But, they are so much more forgiving in a small place. And it also helps you learn who you are playing in your get the local flavor, wherever it is you're from, be that, and make music for the people that are really, really kind before you go off and make music for the people who are really, really cruel.